Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, out of your life to watch this video, and I hope that the content that I'm sharing with you today will be helpful and useful in some way or another. And if you know someone who may benefit from it, feel free to share this video with them. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate that. And if you want to take your support even further than that, in the description of my video, there are 3 opportunities to donate to my channel financially. It goes a long way. It's not something you have to do, but it definitely helps me remain consistent and be able to come up with this content every single week. And so thank you to those of you who have already invested in my channel financially. I really appreciate that. If not, that's fine. A like, a comment, a share, even subscribing to my channel, of course, is very helpful. Also in the description of this video is my Instagram handle, at Live to Learn Coaching. That's also my TikTok handle. There you can watch more content, and you can also reach out to me directly if you have any suggestions, if you want me to cover a subject, if you just want to say hi, or you just want to communicate with me in any way. I'd love to hear from you. So all that's in the description of the video. That's where you can find that information. Let's get started in today's video. So today is actually the third part of a 3-part series that we've been going over the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about settling, right? The dangers of settling for less. And last week we talked about, finding out well, how do I know if I'm settling, right? Good question, right? And we went through a few things, a couple of things to identify, a couple of things to look for that may indicate that we're actually settling for less. And again, my emphasis behind what I'm emphasizing behind this is to understand that we have one life to live. It's a short life. It is long, yes, and if you're still alive today, and if you've been alive for 43 years like I have, that is a blessing. That is definitely something that is fortunate. Not everybody gets that. And it's funny because in the US we're not necessarily fond of getting old. I would say in wider circles, right? I mean, sure, there are individuals who appreciate that aspect, but I think that's something that we really need to start appreciating about ourselves. It's not bad to grow old. It's a gift. It's not something that everybody gets. It's not to be taken for granted. And so that goes back to settling, right? In this lifetime, in this span of years where I'm going to be able to, where I have the capacity and the ability to pursue goals, to pursue something greater than myself, what am I going to do with that? And how is settling for less going to hinder my advancement? And so today we're going to talk about what we can do to avoid this. What can we do to avoid settling for less? And before I get into these 4 things real quick that I want to share, I want to maybe put an asterisk next to this comment. I want to make a side note that if you don't think that you deserve more than what you have at the moment, I would challenge you to find out why you think that way. And I would challenge you to find out whether or not that's something that you should actually be believing and running with. Me personally, I don't think that's the case. As human beings, as individuals, we are unique, and there's not another person like us. With that individuality, that uniqueness, to me, that tells me all I need to know about whether or not we deserve more than what we have at the moment. The only one who can get more for us is ourselves. So let's talk about it. How can we avoid settling for less? Well, number 1, the first thing we got to do, and let me just say it, and then I'll tell you what I was going to say. So the first thing we got to do is we've got to reflect. We've got to self-reflect. We've got to assess the situation. Okay, let me look at my life. Let me take a step back and let me assess myself. Where are there areas in my life where I may be settling for less? Let me identify those things, right? First of all, we want to be honest with ourselves. The first thing is honesty, right? We've got to be willing to admit, you know what, I'm settling here. I'm settling here. Whatever the reasons might be, I'm settling, right? But it's funny because a lot of the things that I'm going to say, these 4 main things that I'm talking about, they're like recurring themes that come up when it comes to getting better, right? As a life coach, that's my goal. My goal is to help people get better. My goal is to help people perhaps see something about themselves that they never realized, or they never thought that they had the permission to believe that about themselves. But self-reflection, a lot of these things come up. They're recurring themes about improvement, about self-improvement, about getting better. And so I would advise you, pay attention to what these things are. Pay attention to what they are, because 9 times out of 10, these things, whatever our situation might be, are what we're going to lean on, what we're going to build upon to get where we want to go. But number one, what can we do about not settling for less? We have to reflect. We have to self-reflect. Self-reflection is key. I need to assess in my life, where am I settling for less? Let me identify these areas, right? I've got to be honest with myself. So that's the first thing. We've got to be honest. We've got to reflect, self-reflect. The second thing is, once we have been honest, okay, once we've assessed, okay, I've put it all out here, I'm going to face the fact that I'm settling for less here, or perhaps I could be. Now what? Well, the next thing we want to do is we want to set goals, clear goals. Again, recurring theme, setting clear goals, putting something out there. I need something to aim for. Let me set a very clear goal. Let me get as specific as I can. And when I mean specific, I mean, what does more, right? Because the opposite of settling for less is getting more, okay? But we need to be specific. What does more look like? What does that need to look like in this area of my life? In order for me to go the opposite direction, right? I'm already settling. Now I want to go this way. I want to go upward. So what does more need to look like? I need to be very specific. There's no time limit on this stuff, by the way. Well, you better have this figured out in 2 days. You better have this figured out in 48 hours. No one says, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. This is going to take some of us longer to do than it would others. But at the end of the day, no one else can do it for us but us. So we've got to decide. Remember, the decision is still in our hands. Okay, none of this happens without decision. But the second thing we want to do is we want to set clear goals. We want to identify and be very specific. What will more look like in this area of my life? Third thing, now, of course, is the hard part. All of this is hard, but now number 3 is the hard part. Because what is the third thing that we need to do? We got to take action. Right? I can write all day. I can have ideas. I can have plans. I can get specific. I can assess and self-reflect and know exactly where I'm settling for less at. But until I take action, nothing happens. And when I say action, this is what I want you to understand. And this is something that I think this is important for myself. I'm talking about small, actionable steps. We don't need to overwhelm ourselves. I've said this in other videos. You can crawl forward. And guess what? It's still considered progress. You're still moving forward. You may not be going very fast, but you're still moving in the right direction. So when I say take action, this is what I'm talking about. Small, actionable steps. Let me give you some examples, right? I'm settling for less in my career. I'm settling for less in, whatever it is, right? So you know what I'm going to do? I found a free online course. I'm going to sign up for it. I'm going to take it. Or you know what? I'll need new opportunities. I need to look for new opportunities. I'm going to commit to spending 30 minutes a day looking for different opportunities in other industries, right? These are just examples. Take action. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be crazy. We don't have to overwhelm ourselves. But we do need to take action. Okay, so that's the third thing. What is the fourth thing that we need to do? What is the fourth thing that we can do instead of settling for less? And again, another recurring thing. The fourth thing is this. We need to build a support system. Again, this is broken record stuff, right? Build a support system. Set goals. Take action. Reflect. Notice the themes, notice the patterns, notice that this stuff is going to come up over and over and over again when it comes to advancing, when it comes to getting better, when it comes to change. But build a support system. Listen, it's a treasure. Okay? You got to look at it like this. You got to look at it as a treasure. You got to look at it as something extremely valuable to surround ourselves with ambitious and supportive individuals. There's just nothing like it. There's very few things that hold that type of value, that innate value, that just, it's more than a money thing. It's more than it's worth this. It's a treasure. And I say that because guess what? In my life, I've mostly had the most supportive individuals around me. Majority of them are in my own family. I'm a rich individual. I'm a lucky man. I've said this on other videos, and I'm going to say it again. I feel like I was given everything you can be given in life, other than, unlimited, financial resources. And I'm not complaining. I've lived a good life. I'm very grateful. But what I've had that's worth more than diamonds, more than gold, more than rubies, more than precious jewels is I've had that system. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I did not have that. Now, if you're not as fortunate as myself, guess what you can do? You can build a support system. You can go to YouTube and find a channel like mine. I'll be your supporter. I'll be that ambitious individual that you can surround yourself with. I'm telling you right now, I don't know you. Some of you I do, some of you I don't. I want to see you get better. I want to see you not have to settle for less. I want to see you pursue to your best ability, to the fullest, all that life has to offer you. So if you need somebody as a part of that support system, consider me a part of it. You don't even need to ask. You just got to watch the videos, right? Subscribe, put the notification so you know when I put out a new one. Here we are. We need to build a support system, okay? So let me go back. 4 things that we can do instead of settling for less. 4 things that we can do instead of just saying, you know what, this is what it's going to be. Number 1, we got to reflect, self-reflect. We've got to assess and find the areas in our lives where we're settling for less. We've got to be honest about it. Second thing we got to do, now that we know these things, we've got to begin to set clear goals. We've got to get very specific as to what more is going to look like in these areas of our lives that we're trying to no longer settle at, right? The third thing, we got to take action. Action is unavoidable. It's something we absolutely have to do, okay? Now remember, don't get overwhelmed. Small, actionable steps, whatever we can handle, whatever's not going to overwhelm us, we just got to be consistent. And the fourth thing we got to do is we got to build a support system. We've got to surround ourselves as best as we can with individuals who are not only supportive, but who are ambitious, who want more out of life, who want to do more things, who want to grow. Because it's just like when you're growing up, right? When I was young, I did what my friends did. My friends did what I did. You rub shoulders with people that are going to influence you. So you want to be around the right types of individuals. So we've got to build a support system. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you've been enjoying the series. I hope you've been enjoying what I put out on this channel. Everything that I put out here comes from the heart, comes from the mind. It's with sincerity, and it is with an intention to help people. That's what I'm here for. That's why my channel exists. So thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate your support. Have a great day.